So January, we're starting it with a horror film. About this time last year we had Megan, and some people attached that are doing this, but they're also attached to The Nun. You might need some liquor. Night Swim was directed by Bryce McGuire, stars Emil Heffawet and Wyatt Russell, and it comes to us from also some of the makers of a bunch of other horror films, including James Wan, who's connected to this. In here, a family has a new home, and in it they have a giant swimming pool. But when weird circumstances begin to happen surrounding this aquatic leisure place of theirs, it begins to seem that something darker is going on, and soon it seems like it may be taking over more than just the water. January is a place where people who watch movies really just know what they're about to get. And that isn't a whole lot of nothing.
Here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
And to be perfectly honest, going in I kind of had that in mind. So I was also not very impressed by the initial trailers, and the people behind this have not made very good films in a little bit. So it's kind of like, well, we gotta review something when I want to watch a movie. And I looked at it, I watched it. And overall, Night Swim is good for about the first 30 minutes. And that's it. And then after that, they probably should have stopped. And I'm not trying to be mean necessarily to this film or talk badly about it or say I could do a better job. It's just this film so very clearly has like a small premise, a small idea it wants to go with. And they try to drag it out for so long and do so much with it. And it just kind of runs dry really fast. Honest, the first, like I said, maybe 20, 30 minutes of this movie, really decent. The opening hook, pretty good. It's kind of like when we had The Nun 2 last year, and that kind of started on a strong note, but from there fell apart, which, by the way, people involved in this worked on that as well. That's what happened here. This movie just struggles, and it has a lot of cliches in here. It's a lot of the stuff that's just beyond cliche. It's just tired and old. The things where, like, people literally verbalize everything because they don't think the audience can use their brain to conclude or deduct what's happening. There is exposition all over this movie, and some of the most stilted dialogue I think I've heard in a long time in a horror film. There's also some very weird choices with the camera. It just doesn't frame the horror in a way that works, and it's extremely predictable with the way it's filming everything. And the PG-13 rating is a clear hindrance here. There's a lot of scenes where it just feels like it's hard cuts because anything they wanted to do for that R rating, well, they wanted it for the TikTok crowd too, and they got to get it on there, and TikTok will not allow clips of this on there if it's, got too much blood, so they just kind of cut it. And it's just, there's a lot of stuff like that, and just, there's so many things that are just not fully fleshed out in here. Some of the characters will start with this one concept or idea, and nothing really happens about it. There's just nothing really happening. Everyone's a surface level person with like no actual personality, and then the way it takes some of these characters, the way some of them end up developing into the third act, is just weird, doesn't feel earned, and it just feels contrived. And it doesn't seem like it's the same movie, kind of, as the movie moves along. It seems like it just switches tones entirely and becomes something else, which was just weird in general. This movie's full of jump scares, too. And I don't mean like jump scares and 20 minutes later. I mean a jump scare followed by another jump scare, followed by another jump scare. And it's just, it's not effective. There's nothing in this movie that's even genuinely horrifying. It's kind of mildly jarring at times. That's the best way I could say about this movie. I will say for the movie, it has some good production quality to it. And I know that's like something small to say, but it's something that I think kind of worked. Other than that, there just really wasn't anything to this movie other than, like I said, maybe those first 20 to 30 minutes. There's some good stuff there. They built up some good tension, and honestly, if that was a short film, that would have been pretty cool to watch. It was well constructed, well conceived, well filmed, well written. And the characters actually kind of had a little bit of brains at first. That whole thing right there, first 20 minutes, good. Everything else after that, I didn't like. I was bored out of my mind. It wasn't entertaining to be even in the slightest, mildest form. I wish I could give more to say that's nice about Night Swim, but I just genuinely was unimpressed. It just lacked life. It lacked creativity, and it lacked a vision that justified the ends and the means. It's not worth checking out in theater. To be honest, this is just something that I wouldn't even watch at home. It's just not worth a lot of your time. Don't waste it. Spend it on something else. I'm going to give Night Swim a 2 out of 10. So thank you guys as always so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you all next time.